Hey, how you doing? Welcome to my back porch. Welcome to A Taste of Country. Y'all know, most of you know who I am. I'm Rhonda, and the chickens or the roosters are going crazy all day long. Just wanted to have a little chit chat before I start dinner. We had a tornado warning today. I was videoing cooking my salmon patties, and my phone went off and it said take shelter now. And I didn't. I went outside to see if I could see anything, and it was just the wind was blowing and it was raining, and I don't know if there was anything that had touched down or not. And I've got to go to the dentist in the next couple of days to get my daggone crown put back on. I tell you, y'all, I've been a busy bee. I fixed those salmon patties yesterday. I was going to cook them for supper, and I got to feeling so bad that I just stuck them in the refrigerator. I just couldn't do it. So we had takeout. You know, I've been praying a lot for certain people, and I've been having some problems. Y'all know, most of you know, I have a stomach ulcer that has gotten bigger, and my allergies are kicking butt, so y'all forgive me. Pollen is pretty thick. You can't see it, but it's coming out. But anyway, my stomach ulcer has went from a 6 millimeter to a 7 millimeter, and that doesn't seem very big, but the doctor said if you think about the size of your stomach, you know, it's pretty good size, and it hurts. I mean, they really do hurt, and it's not getting better, and I'm trying to do everything I can to get it better. And recuperative sleep is something that we all need, and I'm not getting that because the medicine they put me on, Vaquinzy, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a strong medicine to reduce acid, and it also blocks magnesium, and it has made my restless leg worse. I mean, it has been, I stopped it for a couple of days, and of course my ulcer started hurting worse. But my restless leg was calming down a little bit. You know, the medicine that I take for restless leg was working. So I started the medicine back, and now my medication for my restless leg won't help me. It has, what's the word I want to use? Exacerbated? Yeah. Exacerbated my restless leg. And if any of you know about restless leg, it is horrible. And so when you got a stomach ulcer pain, you got the restless leg, you're like, you know, and I was just really upset and mad. And I got to thinking, I was saying, why me, why me? And you know what? There's people out there that's a lot worse off than I am. And I need to stop that, and I need to say, why not me? Because I need to be grateful that it's not worse than it is. So that was a lesson learned today to, you know, if Randy asks me if I'm hurting, I'm going to say yeah. But I'm not going to, you know, be upset and mad and distraught, even though you walk around sleep deprived. Sometimes you say things you don't mean. I have actually, when Randy and I first started dating, my restless leg was so bad that I had woke up from a nap. I thought I had woke up. I walked in the kitchen and he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to check the meat in the oven." He said, "Honey, it ain't no meat in the oven." And when I opened the oven, I woke up and I busted out crying. I was so embarrassed. So, lack of sleep makes your brain swell. It does. And it can be dangerous. And I do get angry when I'm so exhausted that I want to lay down and go to sleep. And when I do, my legs just go crazy. Randy's over sleeping like a baby, and I'm just angry because I can't. And there's not but so many medications that work for it. So, anyway, I used to walk a driveway out here at night just trying to get them to calm down. So some nights I take 2 or 3 baths just soaking in the tub to get my legs to calm down. And I've tried everything. I've tried the lavender soap under the sheets, right there under the sheets where you put your feet. I've tried tying a string around my ankles. I've tried the water with that stuff in it that they say drink. Begins with a Q. I can't remember the name of it right this minute. I've tried everything. So I think that Randy said we're going to talk to the doctor about going to Duke. And there's a machine that they've got now that you can put on your legs that stimulate a nerve. I'll show it. I'll put the name of the machine when I download this video. You'll see it flash across. I don't know. But the thing what I'm trying to say is, I think you get more power by saying why not me instead of why me. Because I've got subscribers that have been through a lot and still going through a lot. And it doesn't seem fair, but that's life. And we don't know what tomorrow holds. You know, when I lost my previous husband, I was at the beach. And Linda and they have a boat. And we had been up there a few days. And I had talked to my husband the night before. And he fell that night and hit his head out here on the propane tank. He had epilepsy, but hadn't had a seizure in like 3 years. And he had had brain surgery several years before that. He had had car accidents from having seizures. So he had had a couple of traumatic brain injuries. And I got a phone call that his son found him. He didn't show up for work. And it wasn't unusual for us to go all day and not talk because he got up and went to work early. And we would talk that afternoon. But they found him passed away in our bedroom, in the floor. So you never know. You never know. And I was angry about that. I was angry when my mama, my daddy called me and said something was wrong with mama. And of course, me being a paramedic, I won't be able to save her. I can save her. I get down there and I couldn't. I could not save my mama. So, both of my parents, I was with them when they passed, and I'm grateful for that. But, you know, we don't know. We just don't know. But we need to make sure that our hearts are in the right place. Make sure that you're right with our Heavenly Father. That's very important because times are weird and different, and we need to think about everything that's going on. I'm not going to talk about politics. I'm not going to talk about none of that. I'm just saying times are different. And I wished it was in the 70s again. That was my favorite time. The 70s. I love the 70s music. Anyway, y'all, I hope y'all have a wonderful evening. It's windy. It's windy. I love y'all. And look, I have gotten a lot of subscribers in the past few days. I can't be still. Oh, speaking of restless leg, when I had my hand surgery, both of them, when I woke up, my throat was hurting because he said he was just going to, general anesthesia. He said, I had to intubate you. I said, why? He said, because we put you out and your legs were going crazy. He said, I couldn't do the surgery because your legs were doing this. But I was asleep. See? Oh, mercy me. But anyway, let me get back to what I said. I didn't want to forget that. I'm ADD. I've gotten a lot of subscribers in the past few days. So thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to go in the kitchen. I'm not going to have salmon patties for supper because I had that for lunch. I just had a couple. And I've got some hamburger, and I thought about making some cabbage dubrovnik, but my cabbage is not fermented. What am I trying to say? Fermented. So what I was saying was, I thought about cabbage. I thought about cabbage dubrovnik, but my cabbage is not fermented. According to what I read, the cabbage has to be kind of fermented. I don't know. I've never made it. But so I'm gonna do some type of stuffed cabbage, I think. I've never had it. So anyway, I hope the weather is not gone cray-cray where you live. I hope you're not under any tornado warnings. I think it's kind of early for that. It's usually in July, right? Or June, July, August, and maybe hurricanes start around September and October. Strange times. All right, enough of me chattering. I'll see y'all in the kitchen. Hey, welcome to my kitchen. How y'all doing? So I said I was going to do stuffed cabbage. I've never made it. And the recipe that I am using is from All Recipes. And I washed this head of cabbage. It's not the biggest head. I wanted a great big head of cabbage, but this is all they had. So I'm going to have to try to make do with it. And what she done was she just took, like, the leaves, depending on how many you want. And I'm going to use about a pound of ground beef. And I'm just going to cut off a few of these leaves. And the bigger, the better, I think, probably. I think it would be better if I just cut it like this. She cut it the other way, but yeah, this is better. Let's see. This thing is tight. And I'm just going to try to pull a few more of these. I don't want to rip them. That's probably enough, I think. Well, I kind of ripped that one too. That's what I'm saying. If you can get a big head of cabbage, it'd be better. All right, I think that's enough. And I'm gonna save these because, well, not the core, but I'm gonna save this because I can cook that. Let me get my other chopping block. And she took and just took that real tough piece. She cut that out. All right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would think 6 would be plenty. Okay. You gotta heat up a pan of water, like so. And we're gonna put our cabbage leaves in there and let them wilt. We're not gonna cook them. We're gonna par cook them. That's what she did. So I'm gonna set that aside for just a minute. Gotta have a can of tomato soup, onion, and if you wanna use garlic, you can use garlic, salt and pepper. And then I've got some basmati rice. Basmati rice. You do not have to wash this rice. It is pre-washed. And we're gonna par cook the rice. We don't wanna overcook the rice because when you stuff it, when you put it in with your meat mixture, you don't want it to be overcooked because it's gonna cook some more. But she did cook her rice some. Now I normally toast my rice, but I'm not today. But I am gonna cook some extra rice because I like to have some in the refrigerator in case I need it, and we like to snack on it. So, 1. And that's 2 cups of rice. Oh, it did have a little sticky thing on it. Oh well. Okay, I got 4 cups of water in this pot right here, and I'm gonna wait for that to get hot, and then I'm gonna put my rice in there. Now you want to salt your water. And then when it comes to a boil, we're gonna stick our, it's just about there, we're gonna stick our some of our leaves in there. Not all of them at once, but just a few. Okay, I have some ground beef, and it's not lean. And I have a little bit of sausage that I wanted to go ahead and cook. I'll chop up this onion here. I'm gonna leave your root on. I ought to put it in my chopper because I kind of want them small. So I think a half of an onion is plenty. Okay. There we go with that. Alrighty. All right, we're going to take our cabbage leaves and just lay it down in there. We're just going to kind of let it sweat, kind of like, you know, just let it get a little limp. I'm going to pour my rice over in here. Let that come to a boil. And then we'll cover it and turn it down. Where's my tongs? I don't want to break them. And it won't take long. We just want to wilt them like. We don't want to cook them all the way. Just to be able to roll them up. Excuse me, y'all. I didn't mean to do that. I'll cover that. Cook that about 15 or so minutes. And this was boiling. Okay. So I think that is flimsy enough. About 5, 6, 7 minutes. Just where you can, you know, roll them up. So you want to be able to, you know, it's not stiff. Okay, let's get to our mixture. Okay, so as you can see, these are very foldable. I'm trying to let them dry a little bit. Gently. Now, if I put anything in this mixture that you don't like, you can absolutely omit it. But you do have to have tomato soup. That's what she used. Now, she took 1/2 a can of it, or almost a 1/2 a can, and put in that, in your meat mixture. Now, I'm adding some celery. You don't have to. But I think celery and cabbage go great together. I'm adding some onion powder. About a 1/2 teaspoon. I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic powder, not a lot. You can add as much as you like. And I like the taste of paprika. I'm gonna add a little bit of that. Okay, I'm gonna put some pepper, a little bit of black pepper, and some salt. And we need an egg. And we're gonna put the rice in there once it gets done and it cools a little bit. And then we're gonna put our onion in here. You can add breadcrumbs if you wish. It's up to you. I don't know if she did or not. That's a 1/2 of an onion. Got a cup of rice. Might want to add a little bit more, I'm not sure yet. And it hasn't cooled off all the way, but it's okay. I think that's enough. I do want to add a little bit of Worcestershire because I like it. And I think I am going to add a little bit of breadcrumb because it's so wet. Just a little bit. It's not going to hurt. Because you want it to stay together. Because I have seen recipes where they do put breadcrumbs in it. Okay, there we go. Now she cooked hers in an iron skillet. A cast iron skillet. Not like a pan, but like a Dutch oven skillet. That's what it was. All right, let me get my pan. I'm going to use the same pan that I blanched my leaves in. She took some butter, put it in the pan. Now we're cooking this on top of the stove. We're not going to cook it in the oven. I'm sure you could if you wanted to. That's about a half stick of butter. Now, if I have any of this filling left over, I am going to freeze it. All right. So, I'm going to have to put this here. All right, laid it out, leaf down. She folded it over. Like I said, I need bigger leaves, but you know, I have to make do with what I got. And then she just folded it over like that and put the seam side down. And I know I'm gonna have some left over, so I need to get the freezer bags out because my leaves aren't big enough. And if it leaks out, it's okay. I mean, it's not going to be perfect all the time. I'm putting about 2 tablespoonfuls in here, maybe 3. Last one. So yeah, I'm gonna have plenty of filling left over. Seven. I probably could have cooked some more leaves, but I didn't want to cook more than we were going to eat. And I can definitely save that. I can make meatballs out of it. Add Parmesan cheese and some herbs, and we're good to go. Okay, so now we're ready to put this in the skillet. Take the rest of your soup mix, and I'm adding some bouillon. You don't have to, but I wanted that flavor. So 2 cups. Put the rest of the other half of your tomato soup, and then water, and about a teaspoon of better than bouillon is what I did. And you may have to add a little more liquid. We don't know yet. Okay. Set your roll seam side down. Make sure it's seam side down. Okay. Now, turn our heat up a little bit. And we're just going to pour this in here. And I'm not going to pour it totally over top of it, just up to the sides of it to start off with. And we're going to cook that on medium for about 45-50 minutes until the burger's done. And that's it. I'm gonna put the lid on it. And I hope it turns out good, because we may be eating a sandwich. So I have these great big potatoes. And I'm gonna go ahead and cook 2. I'm out of parchment paper, so I'm having to use foil, and I sprayed it. Because I don't want them to stick. And I'm gonna put some salt on them. And some pepper. And I'm gonna flip them over. And I'm cooking them on 425, and it's probably gonna take about 40 minutes. 35, 40 minutes. They're pretty thick. So I want to make some corn muffins, and I'm going to use my Tender Bake yellow cornmeal. I washed this bowl very well. I like it because it's got a little spout on it there. I'm going to use a cup of this cornmeal. Alright. And I'm going to use a cup of all-purpose flour. I've got some white lily. If I don't knock it over first. I'm going to use a teaspoon of baking powder. About a teaspoon and a half of baking powder. Sorry, y'all, I had to check my potatoes. Okay. Then I want to hit it with a little bit of sugar. About a teaspoon of sugar. That was a half a teaspoon. I want some salt. A little bit of pepper. And I gotta get an egg. And some buttermilk. About a cup and a half of buttermilk. And I'm going to put some oil in it. I'm going to put some Crisco oil. About a fourth of a cup. Because I want it to be moist. And it's about a cup of buttermilk, a little over a cup. And I like to let it sit for a few minutes. Okay, and that's it. Alrighty. And I got my muffin pan. These are small. And I'm going to spray these shortly. I have sprayed my pan with some canola oil. Okay, that's gonna make 12 corn muffins. It would have been good if I would have put some green onion in it, some scallions. Hey, so I just dished up some of these. And there's my potatoes. And here's my muffins, corn muffins. And let me get him a couple of these. They pretty. So here's his plate. And I put some rice on there too, just because. Baked potato, bacon, muffins, and stuffed cabbage. Here's my plate. I know like I said, I know we got potato. I wasn't gonna put rice on there, but we've got extra rice, so that's what I did. Let me move these out the way. Check the cabbage roll. Mmm. 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 Very good. I like it. Be good with some cheese on it too. Okay. Thank y'all for watching. Fix this. It's wonderful. I hope y'all have a wonderful evening. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I appreciate it. Love to have you. And I'll see you next time on A Taste of Country. Bye now.